Well, hello and welcome everyone to yet another one of my Arrow Season 6 videos. Now, just like I did a few days back with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. listing things that have been either rumored, hinted, or definitively stated about the upcoming season of the show, I'll do the same for Arrow in this video. I'll also use the time I've got here to list the burning questions that some of the viewers have with regards to the upcoming season and how the show will probably handle them based on the information we've got so far. Now, every once in a while, I'll be coming back with these kind of videos and with similar titles to them as well, presenting you with more things that get revealed about the upcoming season, especially during the San Diego Comic-Con events. But before I get started, let me remind you that it is always much appreciated if you drop me a like if you end up liking the content of this video, and if you subscribe if you want to see more of my Arrow review, news, and theory videos. Let me remind you as well to click that sexy bell-shaped icon underneath this video if you haven't already, that way you would get notified of any of my new uploads the moment they come online. But circling back to the 6th season of Arrow, here's what we know so far. Number 1. This one is not just related to Arrow, but to all 4 Arrowverse shows as well. The CW has announced its full schedule with air dates and with a few changes as well, with Arrow now airing on Thursdays rather than Wednesdays. Before the announcement of set schedule, rumor had it Legends of Tomorrow might end up airing on Wednesdays come the fall, but apparently that is not the case. Some articles out there are freaking out and panicking over Arrow's episode being the last on the 4-night crossover event with this new schedule, saying that would be weird. But need I remind you that except for this one time, Arrow's episode of the crossover has always been the last and has always acted as the conclusion to its events. That's pretty evident if we look back at the show's crossovers on its 3rd and 4th seasons with The Flash. So the whole freaking and panicking seems like nothing but a way to fill articles with words in my personal opinion. Seriously, there is nothing weird about Arrow's episode being the last on the crossover. But speaking of the schedule, Supergirl will be airing the premiere of its 3rd season on Monday, October 9, then on Tuesday, October 10, the 4th season of The Flash will be premiering, followed by the premiere of the 3rd season of Legends of Tomorrow. On October 11, we'll be seeing no Arrowverse shows as the CW seem to have moved Riverdale from its Thursday time slot to replace Arrow and give it a bigger chance at success. And finally, on October 12, we'll get to watch Arrow's 6th season premiere. The only disadvantage to this kind of schedule when it comes to the crossover event is we would be watching 3 episodes over 2 days in a row, then we would have a break on Wednesday and go back to watching the last episode on Thursday. But I kinda think by the time the crossover kicks in, they'll possibly sort it out in such a way that Legends or Arrow get to air on Wednesday for that 1 week. On another note, and speaking of other DC shows on the CW, with iZombie being renewed and Black Lightning being ordered for a 1st season, both shows will be airing their premieres mid-season. But moving on to number 2. One of the biggest fan questions when it comes to the upcoming season is all about flashbacks. I personally think it's safe to say that flashbacks have served their purpose with the culmination of Oliver's 5 years journey in hell as he describes them. From what I can gather from the statements made by the producers, we'll still be getting some flashbacks to the island early on during the season in a way that would reveal who died and who survived the big explosion at the end of season 5. So I'm guessing the reveal of the Lian death toll won't be presented to us so easily and on a golden platter right away, but will rather happen gradually over the course of the premiere and maybe a couple of episodes after that. Now beyond that point, and this is going to be the part where I get to do some speculating or predicting, I believe Arrow will be in a pickle trying to find its way to good writing without the flashbacks and without having to stretch the events of the season. On one hand, flashbacks revealing events in the lives of other characters and their backgrounds could be a good thing to go for. However, and on the other hand, it could all get too boring and too old way too quickly. Except in some specific cases, of course, like a Black Siren origin arc for example. It would definitely be really interesting watching that one with Earth 2 Oliver Queen alive, then dead, followed by Robert Queen becoming the Green Arrow on said Earth. I think it would as well be an answer to the prayers of some fans who've been wishing to see that kind of arc for too long now. But regardless of flashbacks, one of the best bets here, and as I mentioned on a previous video, would be to go for flash forwards. Now that would see us presented with the 2 major villain trope the show has been going with over the past few seasons, only one of them would be a future Star City villain facing off with an aging Oliver. The final option I can think of here is the show adopting the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. multiple arc, multiple villains dynamic it had going on for itself on season 4. Now if the show decides to go with something of the sort, stretching events to fit into 23 episodes would not be an issue anymore. But moving on to number 3. With The Flash announcing the Thinker as the major villain for its 4th season, and Supergirl announcing Reign as the major villain of its 3rd, we are left with the upcoming seasons of Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow lacking in a similar announcement. However, in an interview with TV Line, Wendy Miracle stated, having bailed on Felicity immediately after using her to find and free their founder, super hacker Caden James, Helix's status is very much a dangling thread, and we don't like to leave those hanging around. It would be a great sort of built-in story for Felicity to revisit these people who are not very happy with her, let's be honest. We left that open-ended on purpose for sure. Now, while I personally don't like trusting statements made by Wendy Miracle, considering she screwed us over enough with a few of the kind that hinted at one thing and ended up being a totally different thing, I think this one is straightforward enough to take at face value. However, the question still remains, who will the major villain be on the 6th season of Arrow? Let's ask it in a different manner though. Could Vigilante end up being the big bad of season 6? Or could Helix, in a way, end up being the major villain of the season? Now once more, this is just me, but I don't think Vigilante would end up being the major villain for one simple reason. He does not fit the profile. The villains on Arrow so far have been both smart and violent. Malcolm Merlyn, Slade Wilson, Ra's al Ghul, Damien Dark, and Adrian Chase. Vigilante, on the other hand, is not as smart as he needs to be. He's just a guy with too many gadgets that has so far helped him evade capture. Besides on the show and within the pages of the comics, he's not really a villain, but rather an anti-hero. On the other hand, Helix is pretty much major villain material. I mean, they are both violent and smart, as evidenced by the rescue mission of Caden James in the 5th season. These guys outsmarted and took both Team Arrow and Argus in one go. And be reminded, a lot of people might believe it was all based on Felicity helping them all the way through, but the truth is, they are the ones who set up most of the whole thing, including the misdirection they used to rescue the guy. Besides that, they now have a leader who should probably be smart enough to do way more than Felicity did to help them. That brings us as well to the fact that the identity of James is yet to be revealed, and instead of Helix as a whole being the major villain of the season, he could end up being our guy, and they could just end up being a tool he uses to achieve whatever his goals would be on the 6th season. I mean, when you think it through, Lila did mention the man was extremely dangerous, that he was caught hacking into an Argus transponder, and that he is a security risk, and I quote, 20 times greater than Snowden. Now there's a theory out there based on the belief that Caden James is just an alias for Felicity's father, Tom Cutler, aka the Calculator, whom we've met 4 times so far in the 4th season of Arrow. Now I'm not really a big fan of the theory. I mean, granted, it came to mind as soon as they mentioned they were trying to rescue the man, but I think it would be one of those 2 obvious reveals if they go with that. But moving on to the last on my list, and number 4. Felicity will seemingly survive the explosions on Lian. So when reading Wendy Miracle's statement about Helix, this particular part caught my attention. It would be a great sort of built-in story for Felicity to revisit these people who are not very happy with her. I'm guessing that's a clear slip of tongue, and it is the first reveal with regards to who survived the explosions on Lian. We already know that Thea ain't dying based on the reveal we've got from Mark Guggenheim a while back, in which he has made it clear that they don't want to get rid of Thea anytime soon. He did mention then that Thea is the last person resembling family to Oliver, and that they don't want to take that away from him. Now some could argue that William is family to Oliver, but I'm guessing he meant it in the strong connection kind of way. Now we also know that from Team Arrow, Dinah Drake and Wild Dog are no more just recurring characters on the show, but have rather been bumped up to series regulars on the 6th season, and as we should expect to see them come out of the whole mess on the island alive and well. We also know that the same goes for Katie Cassidy's Black Siren. That leaves us not knowing the fate of Diggle, Slade, Nyssa, Curtis, Samantha, and Lance from Team Arrow. It also leaves us with the mystery of whatever happened to Talia al Ghul and Captain Boomerang. So my next video will be about what we know so far when it comes to Legends of Tomorrow, along with theories out there and what I personally expect from the 3rd season, and there's a lot to talk about there. However, I'm not really sure when exactly I'll be uploading such a video, but it will definitely be sometime over the next couple of days. I'm also getting a video ready on Gotham Season 4 and the origins of Solomon Grundy, so stay tuned for that as well. Now I've recently as well uploaded this video with all the Easter eggs on the 4th season of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., discussing which of them came true and which are yet to be seen come true on the show. You can check it out by following the link at the end of this video, and if you happen to want to see a similar thing worked out for other seasons of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., or for any other comic book based shows, make sure you let me know. But with that being said, let me know in the comments what you thought of this video and the little things we know so far about Arrow Season 6, Let me know as well how excited you are for the return of Helix, and if you think the show would fashion them as an organization or Caden James as an individual into the major villain of the season given their history on Season 5. Feel free as well to drop me a comment with the subject of any video you want to see me upload on Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, The Flash, and Supergirl, and even Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But until I see you next, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day.